Hello and welcome back to Vigdisdottir's Mystical Musings. I'm Vigdisdottir, also known as Erin. Today we're going to talk about curses, hexes, and backfire. I have a feeling that I've already gone over these subjects, but is there something that comes up again and again and again and again? I'll go over it again. That's fine. First of all, let's talk about what a hex is. A lot of people get heebie-jeebies when they talk about hexes because a hex is obviously a bad thing, right? No, it's just a German word for a spell. That's all it is. All this concern, all this hand-wringing is over a German word that just means a spell. Okay, so we've got that covered. Well, what about curses? Curses are clearly bad, correct? Generally speaking, for someone, they are bad. For your target, it's probably not a very good thing. It's probably going to make their life very difficult, if not really difficult. That is the point of a curse. The thing is, just because it's bad for someone else doesn't mean it's bad for you or those that you are taking care of. So I personally think curses are a perfectly legitimate way of dealing with situations that have not been responding to mundane efforts. You still need to do the mundane efforts because they're going to form the foundation of your spell work. You're going to have magic following the path of least resistance. So if you've already put together a pathway of that mundane action, it's going to have a much easier time of doing what you want it to do. When you curse someone, you're using a lot of your energy. I sure hope you're not using your personal energy to actually curse them, but your energy is going to be in everything that you do because, of course, doing something takes energy. That's just how life works. So before you decide you're going to curse someone, ask yourself if this person in this situation is actually worth cursing. Are they worth that much energy? At the end of the day, the answer for a lot of it is no. And if your answer is yes, then go for it. If you think it is a necessary and useful response to the situation, you go right ahead and you do it. You're going to be responsible for your choices. Everyone is. But you're not going to worry about karma. You're not going to worry about threefold law. You're not going to worry about law of attraction. All these things are a mishmash of ideas that end up essentially being the witch version of do as I say or you will go to hell. You have to behave or you will go to hell. You have to act properly or you will go to hell. And we've all heard that. We've all heard that a lot. It's usually we roll our eyes and just discount it as bullshit. Well, it's still bullshit. Whether it's packaged as karma or law of attraction or the threefold law or whatever. And what you want to do is you want to be comfortable in your own skin with your choices. You want to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm a good person. I can live with myself. And it's not something that anyone can dictate to you. I can't tell you what is good or what is bad. I can tell you what I view as good or bad because, of course, I'm making the choice based on my own perception. But I don't live in your skin. I'm not in your head. I don't have your life. So I and everyone else will simply be outsiders looking in. You have to make the decision. You have to make the call. You can't just, if you try and put it on a book or a truism that you heard somewhere or some kind of statement of ethics from whatever outside source, it it doesn't work very well, because all that has nothing to do with you and your life. You can internalize it, and that would be good. That would definitely be good, because then it would actually be relevant to your life. But if all you do is mouth the words, it's not going to get you anywhere. So why would you do a curse? Well, as I said, because for whatever reason, the situation is such that mundane efforts have not gotten you anywhere. They need a kickstart. They need magical leverage to get some traction. Generally speaking, given the amount of energy required to successfully cast a curse, it has to be a pretty heavy situation before I go to that extent. I mean, there's smaller curses. Actually, I should mention that. A curse is a spell that is an ongoing thing. It's not a one-shot. A hex is generally a one-shot. For example, if I see a obnoxious driver speeding in and out of lanes, I will hex them. I will put a glamour on them to catch the eyes of every cop in the city. That is a perfectly good example of a baneful hex that actually is very protective to everyone else. I'm sure the guy who's being an obnoxious driver would not think it's a very good thing that he got caught, that he's going to get an excessive speeding ticket, and all the rest. But to be quite blunt, I really don't care how my target feels about it, because it's not about them. It's about them in that they are my target, and whatever reason they have given me that they are my target. But it's about me. It's about me and my situation. It's about me, my situation, and what I need to protect. What I need to do to feel safe, to feel that my loved ones are safe, to feel that everything that is important to me is protected. I know a curse doesn't sound very protective, does it? But at the same time, curses can be extremely protective. One of my favorite curses is quite simply a mirror spell, in which case you are putting your shielding around the person, and you're putting on the inside of that shield a mirror. So everything that they're putting out is getting bounced right back at them. It doesn't even go past their own self. It's right back at them. And I love that spell, because as soon as the person stops the behavior, the spell's going to disappear. That's how I prefer to do my curses, is instead of having them tied to me and being powered by my energy, I simply tie them to the target, so that the target's own energy, via whatever attitude or behaviors or mannerisms are a problem, is now being the power source, the battery for the spell. Oh, so of course, if the power source is gone, if the target changes behavior or attitude or whatever it is that you feel needs to happen for the situation to be safe for you and yours, that's great, because now the spell's broken. It's no longer needed because the problematic behavior or attitudes is gone. I like pragmatic things. I think pragmatic spell works best. So, I'm rambling a little bit about cursing, and you're more than welcome to ask me questions or make your own observations in the comments, and I will happily talk to you about it. But the third part of this, of tonight's video, is the idea of backfire. you will hear a lot about backfire in pagan groups, in witchcraft groups. And it's really not understood. Feel part of me just a moment. So, backfires. A backfire is basically any outcome other than a fizzle that is not the one that you were looking for. So a backfire would be you do a love spell and your target doesn't notice you at all, but they notice this other woman who looks a lot like you. Another one, it would be you do a love spell and your target becomes clingy, possessive, stalkerish, and generally all around creepy. You'd be amazed how often that actually happens from love spells. Another one would be that you do a job spell and you say something along the lines of, "May the best candidate win." Great. You've now built into it that if there's someone better than you, you're not going to get it. And chances are there's going to be someone better than you. There are three major reasons why backfire happens. The first one is the spellcaster is incompetent. You, for whatever reason, can't articulate your desire, or you can't focus it properly, or you don't have the attendant energy work, or any number of things. But at the end of the day, it's just plain old incompetency. The solution to that is you get better. You learn more. You try more. You work more. So on to the next one. And the next one is a doozy. Because if your subconscious mind and your conscious mind aren't on the same wavelength, they don't have the same goal, then there's going to be a big clash when it comes to your intention, because your subconscious mind is actually a lot more powerful than you think, and it can very often override your conscious mind. So you need to have that cohesion. And if you don't have that cohesion, you're probably going to find that your spell backfires. Okay, so on to the third one. The third one is your target has protection. They have personal shields. They have wards. They have amulets. They have talismans. They have spirit guides that are guarding them. Whatever it is they have protection. And your spell work is not enough to overcome it. It's going to happen. I hate to break it to you, but there are bigger and badder witches out there than you are. There's bigger and badder witches out there than I am. So it's only a matter of time before you run into such things, particularly if you decide to be willy-nilly cursing everyone here and there. That can always be entertaining. So yeah, there you go. You have incompetency. You have subconscious versus conscious, meddling in your intent, and you have protections on the target. Pretty simple stuff, right? There's one more that outweighs all three of those put together. And what that is people building backfire into their spell work. Now, what I mean by that is that when they put together their spell, when they are doing their craft, figuring out how it should be working, it is just built into the spell work, usually on a subconscious level. You're going to find I talk about the subconscious a lot because it's a real pain in the butt. And it's an expectation. Your subconscious mind loves to run with expectations. So if you're expecting a backfire, you will get a backfire. There's no way around that unless you can root out your expectations and the underlying feelings or experiences or whatever it is that is causing you to think that this is an eventuality. Then you can maybe get somewhere. But a lot of people, of course, are learning on the internet. And unfortunately, on the internet, there's a lot of people going, if you do this, if you do that, if you do the other thing, it's going to backfire and come back on you, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. No, it's not how it works. Even the concepts of karma is not how it works. Karma is a Hindu concept that is about the evolution of the soul in the effort to get off the cycle of reincarnation. It's not about balance. It's not about justice. It's about whatever it is your soul needs to learn in order to let go of its attachment to the cycle of reincarnation. So, please, no California karma. Please. Let's just not. There's no John Lennon here. There's no instant karma. It doesn't work that way. It's a lot of fear-mongering. Not just fear-mongering, but also an attempt to control people. Because, of course, if people are off doing whatever the hell they want, well, that's pretty scary fuck, right? Yeah, so it's just, at the end of the day, you have a lot of people trying to claim power over other people. And the thumping of threefold law and karma and law of returns and all that is an attempt at power over people. You have to make the choice. You have to decide if what you're doing is a good thing or a bad thing. If it's a bad thing, is there a justified reason for you to be doing that bad thing? If it's a good thing, great. Is that good thing actually good for anyone? Or is it just a feel-good thing that will let you say, oh, I did a good thing? There's all kinds of books out there about ethics. There's all kinds of beginners books out there that have chapters on your ethics and will tell you how you're supposed to be practicing and what's good, what's bad, all that fun stuff. You don't need it. What you need is to get to know yourself and to be happy with who you are. If you are unhappy with who you are, look at the reason why you're unhappy. Maybe you don't have a good reason for that curse. Maybe you have an excellent reason for that curse. The only one who can make that decision, the only one who can make that call is you. So, suck it up, buttercup. You are responsible for your own choices. You are the only one who gets to say, this is good, or this is bad, or this is what I want to do, or this is what I will not do. That's on you. No one else can make that for you. So now that I've rambled all here, there, and back again, I will bid you adieu, and I will see you next time. Have a good night, folks.